Welcome to this channel. This is Coding Oak. This video I will show you how to make a almost full stack application with VS Code, NodeJs. And what this application does is it looks up the current most recent price of Bitcoin. And at first it's going to print out the result to your console, but then I'll show you how to deploy this function to Google Cloud. And so you can in fact have a small app where you click a URL and you can at any time, any instant, get the price of Bitcoin. I even have it on my phone. I just click a button on my phone and I get the information. So this is just a lesson in scraping websites using Node.js and using the Google Cloud function to just execute a code snippet. So what you'll need to do this project is you'll need VS Code, need some knowledge about JavaScript. You will need a Google Cloud Console subscription or account. Google Cloud Console looks like this because Google is such a big site that I feel like I have to point this out here. This is Google Cloud, okay? And there's all different services here, all kinds of stuff. A lot of this stuff is over my head. But yeah, we'll be deploying on this Google Cloud function here. And just to show you quickly, what we're doing is we're exploiting this website. It's a simple ticker, Bitcoin ticker site, blockchain.info/ticker. And here it lists, I'm pretty sure this is just listing off the price of Bitcoin in different currency denominations. And then down at the bottom, it shows US dollars. Okay. So right now it shows us that Bitcoin is trading at this price, US dollars. We can refresh it. Now it's really trading at this price. And let's compare that to this app. I have it running on VS Code. I'll just quickly run it. Node, we'll run the main method here. See? Let me zoom in on that. I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, it's right. It's hard to zoom in. But yeah, there it is. This app says it's 2209, the price of Bitcoin, and as we saw on this, same price. Okay, so you see that this application is correctly scraping that website. Just to show you it again, I know I keep jumping around. But yeah, if you, I'm gonna click out of this. But yeah, if you inspect your element on a web browser and you just expand this is a very simple HTML with only one body inside. So what we do in the program is we go through this element here, which is a text element, right? Or a text, whatever you want to call it. And we're gonna pull out, we're gonna extract this part. So in order to start building, you open up your VS Code and you're gonna have to create a working directory. I'm already in my working directory here. If you're using PowerShell, you could use PowerShell or Git Bash, whatever you got. If I drop back a directory, let's say you could do like make dir, say YouTube demo, right? We're going to create a directory and we're going to cd into that directory. And then we're going to make a new item. We're going to just make a main method file. And we'll make a git ignore while we're at it. I think it worked. All right. And and then to add it from the command line into your workspace, to quickly add it into your workspace on VS Code, you just run this. You run this command, code-add dot, and here it is. This is it. And I misspelled this. I should have been paying closer attention. We'll rename that. Not paying attention to details here. Rename that main.js, okay? And usually what you'll do is, there's only a couple packages. I'm going to cheat and look at my other template I have here. Okay, these are the packages you need. Axios. I have these other things here, but I'll explain that later. But just npm I, just install Axios. Okay, to initialize your node project in this directory, you do npm init, and it will create something for you, a little something. There it goes. These other packages like Express, Cores, and Cheerio. Cheerio is optional. That's a package to help you scrape through like HTML and stuff. But Cores and Express, I think you only need this if you want to deploy to Firebase. I could be wrong, but I think we can get away without installing the Express and Cores. So we will npm install, and we'll install Axios. Okay. When we install Axios, it gives us this big obnoxious folder called node modules, and that we can add to gitignore in our gitignore. So if you push this up to GitHub, you won't have this big giant ugly folder. And I like to throw in there these JSON files. .json. I also do .txt if I create scratch files, text files. Okay, so we have our gitignore set up. So if you want to push this up to GitHub, you're only going to push up your main.js, and that's about it. So we have our package.json here, and it shows we have the Axios dependency in here. Okay, so from here, let's see if I could just paste in some boilerplate, quote unquote. So this is already the code I built, and maybe should I just go ahead and just copy and paste all of that in? Yeah, this is the website we're scraping through, blockchain.info/ticker. So yeah, let's just copy and paste all this in. Control C. We're going to put it in here. Cool. So there's a few different ways you can set this up, but just to walk through what's going on here, this is an asynchronous function, and it uses Axios to get some data back. And when it gets the data, it basically gives like a response body. It's something like, I think I had it here. I have it on PowerShell here. It's hard for me to show exactly what response body would look like. Maybe if I comment out all this stuff here, I could show it. So we have data, stringify. I'm trying to think how I'm going to show, like, how to show the response body that you get. Let me see if I could, maybe I could comment this out. Comment some of this stuff out. Could comment like all of it out. Console.log. Yeah, let's say, what happens if I comment out all this stuff? Alright. Making sure, yeah, I'm in the right folder. Okay, yeah, I'm going to comment out all this stuff. So what happens if we just console.log data. Okay, let's see what this data looks like that it gets back from Axios. And we'll run it. We do node main.js. Yeah, it's going to give me a hard time. Cannot find module express. Let's comment this out because it's not in our package.json. Let's try to run this again. All right, cool. So I commented out all that code, and see, this looks just like that website. And what we want to do is we want to get this. We want to isolate this price in US dollar, Bitcoin price in US dollar. So I think, and I could be wrong, but the way I did this was I took this response body, and I'm not even sure what this is. I'm pretty sure it's something like JSON. And so that's why I have this other code here where I basically if I uncomment this, I take this data here and I stringify it. And so let's see what happens if we console.log the stringified. Let's see what happens. Let's see what this looks like if we console.log this. Okay, cool. So this is the text. So this function here, you can look at this closely and copy and paste, or because I have this stuff on GitHub, or you can look closely, but this function here is going to take this body, this data body, and take out the text from it. It stringifies it. So it takes, I think it takes this and stringifies it, and your Chrome browser is basically doing like the same thing, I think. Except it's doing it the other way around. It's taking this text and then making it into something prettier, something like that. But yeah, if we go back to the website here, the real website. Yeah, just inspect this element here. You see how it's the exact same thing? Cool. So from there, this is confusing because we have this thing here, right? And it's like, what do we do with this, right? Let me show you something. I have my PowerShell up here, and let's try to navigate back into this dir that we're in. This is called what? YouTube demo. Let's see if we do node main.js, and if we output to a file, I think you do out file. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna run this. We're gonna put this in a text file. Nice. So we ran it there, and we got it output.txt. There we go. I'd rather deal with a text file. It's not formatted nicely though. Well, this is mildly annoying, but if we just format this by hand here a little bit. US dollar, this is what we want, right? We want this price here. And so that's where the regex comes in, where you, in your code, you go over this text, because this is a string, so you go over this string, and using regex, we're going to pull out this like substring. We pull out this substring here. And so that's in the code here. And that's the next part of the code where you use regex to pull out this stuff here. Right? So this code here will pull out, you see how that looks similar? This will pull out the substring we want. And so this variable here, new string 2, or I should say, no, yeah, this variable here, new string, will equal this toString. I forget why I did toString here. I forget exactly why I did that. I think it's because this const here. Oh, okay. For some reason, I'm not an expert on JavaScript, but for some reason this is an array. So it takes, okay, so this is a string here. But then for some reason when it matches, it becomes an array, I think. Well, anyway, the next part of my code, it pulls out this annoying little symbol here we don't want, this bracket sign. So it helps format it nicely. And then we got another variable, another string where we have a more formalized output. The current price of Bitcoin is. And then this next function here, this like final function, it adds a $sign into the correct position. So then it's finally formatted nicely. So if I were to comment this out and I console.logged the new string 2. Okay. Show what happens there. You see, that might be hard to see. I wish, I think it's Control plus is zoom in, right? Yeah, Control plus is zoom in. Okay. So you see this console.log here, the current price of Bitcoin. The final function in the program inserts a $sign into there. Okay, so that's why this final function here, you'll see this on GitHub, why this is useful. That will insert a $sign at the 41st position. Yeah, and if we just save this, we run it again. Yep. So the final price of Bitcoin here, but then when it's formatted a little bit better, we add the $sign in there. So this is a good code here, so you can just run it on your VS Code and see how well it works. You see, you don't even need these. See, you don't even need these packages. All you need for this project is this Axios package. And that's one reason why I did the regex by hand, why I coded this all by hand, so to make it more lightweight. So all you need is this Axios package, and everything else is automatically comes with an npm init and the normal JavaScript language. And so yeah, I have the Google Functions. Let me show you Google Cloud Functions. So I already have this code I made on Google Functions, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you how to deploy this code. See, the current price of Bitcoin is that, and this looks just like we had in our terminal. So how can we get this from our VS Code up onto Google Cloud Functions? Well, again, you'll need access to Google Cloud Functions, and you're going to create a function. So from create a function, you'll do give it a function name. Bitcoin. Choose your region. Choose a region nearby where you live, logically. Could do all out unauthenticated, whatever. Don't have to require HTTPS. Save that. Then in your runtime build, this is very lightweight thing, so we only need 128. Timeout, maybe 5 seconds. Let's try that. Just do a Google Compute Cloud Engine service. And then, just to go over what you need to set up, just give it a function name and 128 megabytes, etc. Then you click Next. And this is the real tricky part. And honestly, this part, I'm not even sure the most efficient way of doing it, because I just learned all this stuff today. But we're going to put our package.json in here. And we'll see how it goes. So we have our package.json down here. It looks very lightweight. See, this is why we don't go crazy with installing npm packages. We'll just paste that in. All right, let's try this. I'm not even sure. See, again, I'm not even sure if we have to do this part here, but let's just make this index.js. Seems to make more sense. And then here, I think we do this. Let's just copy and paste the code in we need. I actually already have it here. Yeah, I'm not sure if we have to even install that stuff. Hold on, I'm just going through these other notes I have. Yeah, I'm not sure we even have to bring in the... I'm not sure if we have to bring it in. Let's just bring it in anyway. And we'll Control V. And this is a tricky part. So we need to make space here to put our code in. Let's see. So we're gonna copy this function here. We're gonna copy down like all this stuff, all the way down to all this. Yeah, I'm gonna copy that in, and we'll Control V. Okay. Format this a little bit better. Now on Google Cloud Functions, you can't console.log because all it does is, this is just a function, and your function is supposed to return a string, basically. I think you can get away with one other type of response body type object, but so your function should return a string. So right now, this function's like not really returning any. Don't be fooled by this prototype in here, but this function doesn't really return anything. It console.logs. So what we need to do is we need to return this. This is what we have to send/return. So I think we're going to cut and paste this. Control X. So Control X, and we're going to put that up here, and Control V. Okay. Now this is like the final string of the program. This new string here, 3. New string 3 is like the final kind of thing that this program makes. And so we want that to be message. We want that to be the response. So I think we have to rename this to message. Message equals. Now it's sending message. We can't console.log anything. We just go ahead and delete that. Okay. And we could delete this other console.log. And I think I just have to think about this. If this is another console.log, we can delete that. It won't crash the program, but it just looks cleaner to just have. It's just more lightweight to do it this way. So I think this looks good. I think this will work. Let's just format this a little bit tighter. Why not? Alright, let's just deploy and see what happens. And this is going to take maybe a full minute to deploy. And let's see what happens. And we have this thing, we'll be able to test the function. And I'll show you, we could even test it in the PowerShell here too. Just check out my video about HTTPy, which I like to use to test endpoints. But yeah, if this deploys correctly, we should have something just like the other, just like I showed you in the beginning of the video. We should have something that looks just like it, as long as it deploys cleanly. It's tough because I learned all this stuff today, so it was a little bit more intuitive than the Python. I have a similar program like this on with using the Python language. Okay, so we'll go to testing. Let's test the function. There you go. We got it. The current price of Bitcoin is $20,000. $22.10. Compared to that website. Wait, it's right here. The website's right here. Let's refresh this website. Let's refresh it again. This one says it's 20. It's that price. Let's test it again. Oh, there you go. 22.5. That looks closer. And if you want to see it, your trigger URL, you just click this. There you go. There's your website. So this Cloud Function type website, it will show you current price of Bitcoin. So yeah, that's just a little introduction on how to just deploy code snippets onto the Google Cloud. And I think it's kind of useful. Like, there's so many tutorials on YouTube about how to deploy stuff from Node or Python or whatever to Google Cloud, to AWS, but usually they're just deploying like Hello World. And I think this is a little bit more sophisticated, scraping a website and then deploying it on some kind of cloud server. So I'm trying to think of more stuff to tell you to make it easier. But yeah, this code is legit. Just have a close look at that. And maybe somebody could improve on it. The regex is tough. You know, I recommend using this site, regex 101, to build. And remember to select this JavaScript, ECMAScript. It gets tricky using regex with JavaScript because they got different rules as far as like putting stuff inside here and then the global. I just messed that up, but yeah. So yeah. The source code for this is on GitHub, and the link will be down below. And happy coding.